Hello and welcome to episode 24 of my Salem tutorial series. This episode is going to be on making clay using a clay trough. First off, let's show you the boiled bark and tanning fluid that I finished off with doing in the last episode. So if we go over to the fire, you can see that I've been busy with all of the containers. So I've upgraded all my containers. They now have 14 slots. But let's just show you the clay pot. So as you can see, the birch bark that I put in here has turned into soak bark, which next I'll need to put onto the drying frame. So let's put them in my pocket. But more importantly, because I only done one piece, observe that I've got over 4 kilograms of the tanning fluid, which I will be storing up for later use. Also notice here's a beaver. Beavers will make for excellent hunting once we've got our humours up, and I'm going to do an episode on just hunting beavers, but first we need to hunt crickets. That'll be the next hunting episode, and then after crickets we are going to advance on to these beauties, which are beavers. We can make a lot of money from them and also some other very good uses. So there we are, that's the beavers, which we'll get to in a later hunting episode. Notice up here as well that I managed to get all my humours to 10. I am now progressing them all to 15, so you should be doing the same, keeping them all up within 5. Lastly, let's go check the fishing trap, which I made in a previous episode, to see if we've caught anything and what we've caught. So let's just right click on it. Okay, you can see here I filled it with common earthworms again, and I've caught an assortment of items. The only thing missing from that, from these items, which normally you catch as well, is crabs. But notice you get a nice inspirational, it gives you inspirational points called a mermaid's purse. That's one item you can catch, and that's good for using for your lore and lore, which I will save them up and use them. So let's empty that out. Here we have some foods, oysters and crawdads. Once we learn the relevant cooking skill, I will do an episode on that, and we can then cook these up and eat them. Excuse me, sorry. Again, this is just using one fishing trap. I do intend to have about, as many as I can fit. If I show my claim, you can see here that I can, if I extend one more, I can, it's not that great for the water with the way it goes. At the moment I can have about 3. I can put one there and one there. If I extend further, then I can put one there and one there. But I'm not sure if it's worth the cost. Anyway, so I'm going to find eventually another place to settle. This is just good for early getting our skills up. Eventually though, once we can start to make all the resources around us, including planting our own trees, then I will start, we need to find a place, sorry, excuse me. We need to find a place for a mine as well, but that's all getting ahead of myself. But there we are. For now, I'll have probably up to 3 fishing traps, but I will find a better place where I can have 20 fishing traps. You got to think big when you're playing Salem, because it'll make the game much quicker. Okay, next. Excuse me, so sorry, my throat's playing up at the moment. Okay, so Tosh has asked, how do we get clay if there is none nearby? So in this episode we are going to learn some new skills, then make a new structure, all in the name of making clay, because we're going to pretend that we don't have clay all around me and that there's none all around you, like in the case with Tosh. He has no clay near him. So I will now show you in this episode how to get by. You will need to go to town, Providence, and buy 2 nails to follow this episode. We will need 1 nail for a bucket and 1 nail for making the clay trough. Fortunately, we can make the boards we need because we have carpentry and a sawbuck. So the rest is all good. Right, okay, so let's make a start then. The first thing we need to do is we will need to learn a new skill. We will need to learn essential mineralogy, this one here. Fortunately, we have the proficiencies for it, so we just need to learn it. So we will need 675 mines and mountains and 200 sparks and embers. To get the relevant proficiency points, we will study 2 smooth stone. So let's bring my pocket up. And okay, so let's study the smooth stones. Okay, we can now learn essential mineralogy. Oh, notice my cap has increased. It was on 415,000 cap previously. It's now jumped up to 525. May go higher, but that's as much inspiration as I've got. Anyway, let's buy. The point being, as you learn skills, your cap raises for how much inspiration you can store. So there we are. Okay, let's buy that. Okay. Right. That's now unlocked the next skill we need to learn, which is, if I scroll all the way down here, quarrying. Notice this skill is red, and we're going to need to raise one of our proficiency caps. Now, to learn quarrying, we will need 675 hammer and nails, 1275 mines and mountains, and 300 natural philosophy. Notice, first of all, that my mines and mountains is only on 800, and we need to raise it to 1275. We need to raise it 3 times, and we will do that by studying, you guessed it, 8 smooth stones. Okay, so let's study the smooth stones to learn to get our proficiency to 1275. Right, there's 1. There's 2. Let's see. Notice when you do your humours, we can now study better. So it is all good when it comes to the humours. With the black bar, because I've raised it now to 10, I can study twice as much as what I was before. So it's like I say, it's all good. Okay, let's study another one. Oh, no. I was about to waste them. Right, okay, so 2 smooth stones is enough to do the first raise. So let's do that. Okay, we now need to study 3 smooth stones to get it raised again. 1, 2, and 3. And there we go. We can now raise it again. Okay, we now need to, I need to eat, and you'll need to eat, and then study 3 more stones will give us the last raise that we need. Okay, let's study the more smooth stones. There we go. Right, we now have you can see that quarrying's turned white. We now have enough proficiency points in order to learn. So we will need now a further 3 smooth stones to learn this quarrying skill. So I shall eat, and then we will study the 3 smooth stones to learn quarrying. Okay, let's study them. 1, 2, and 3. And there we are. We can now study we can now learn the quarrying skills. So let's buy that. That now allows us to quarry lime boulders. That is why we had to learn the quarrying skill. Why do we need lime boulders? We need lime boulders so we can chip limestone off of the boulders and then use that to make milk of lime. So that's why we needed to learn quarrying, so you can quarry limestone just like you quarry rock shards and the other stones. We needed to learn that so we can now quarry our limestone. When looking at the map, just to mention this, okay, lime is the whitest resource that you see on the map. So if you used to see a round patch up here, a round patch, and it was white, that would be lime. Now, I went for a walk earlier before recording this episode. This has taken me, you wouldn't believe how long it takes to plan out and make each episode. I'll tell you, for this, it's taken me about 3 to 4 hours to do this episode. And a good bit of that was running from a snake, because I wanted to show you in this episode what lime looks like on the mini-map. So I went off a wandering. As the Aussies say, I went walkabout. And as this episode is for Tosh, it's fitting that I say I went walkabout. Anyway, in my walkabout, I come across a snake. Fortunately, I see the snake because when I go walking, and what you should always do, when you go walking exploring for resources, always zoom out fully so you can see around you. And luckily, as I was walking, I see the snake, but the trouble is the snake see me. So we see each other. Okay, the snake saw dinner. I saw a nasty snake that was going to knock me out. Fortunately, I was able to get away from it. How do you get away from a snake? If there is enough distance between you, you just keep clicking, spam clicking and walking away, opposite direction to it. Be careful of going into heavily forested areas or places where there's lots of bushes, because if you get stuck, that snake's going to keep coming, and if he gets to you, you're knocked out. Then you'd have lost half your inspiration. Now, I managed to get away from the snake. That was lucky. What then happened to me is I run into a cougar, sorry. Now, cougars are invisible. They shadow out. They fade out. Fortunately, because I was zoomed out and I was standing still scanning the mini-map to see if I could find it, it appeared about here. And I thought, right, that's enough. No lime today. So, I will show you in the next episode a lime deposit on the map. So that will set that to rights. But there we are, that was my exploits. That's why one of the reasons why this episode has taken me so long to do. Right, okay, moving on. So we've now learnt quarrying. We can now quarry lime, which we need to make the milk of lime. Next, we now will make a clay trough. To make a clay trough, we will need 10 fresh boards and 1 nail. Hence why I said to you, you will need to purchase 2 nails for this episode. Let's minimise that. Okay, so we need 1 nail and 10 fresh boards. So let's go down here and get the 10 boards. Ugh. That's about the worst thing that could have happened to me, because I've got loads of containers and no idea where my saw is. I know where my hoe is. So now you can see the hoarder. Ah, there we are. There it is. Right, okay. I'm so going to get to the episode where we make a tool belt. Really. But there's just so many things I want to show you, and we just have to do them in a natural progression. Natural way progression, because if you just can't jump. Well, I don't want to jump for reasons of being able to show you, so you can follow a clear progression path. Right, we have our saw. Equip the saw, make the boards. We need 10. Right, there's 1, there's 2, There's 3. Notice my endurance is draining, but I've got it up quite nicely now to 12. I'm getting it to 15 eventually. Right, 2, 4, 6. We want 4 more. 7, 8, 9, and 10. There we are. Yes, I'm walking very slowly. Now, where can I put the clay trough? That's the next question, because I believe it needs to be on flat land. So I'll just stick it in the middle, because we can move it if I'm not happy with it in a later date. Okay, to make the clay trough, we have 10 boards, 1 nail. We go to Build, Tools and Utilities, and click Clay Trough. It says the clay trough can be used to make clay from dug out soil and milk of lime. Fill the trough with milk of lime and right click on it while carrying dug out soil to make clay. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so if I press the left shift key, I can scroll it around. Let's put it that way so it's not too intrusive. I'll put it there. There we go. That'll do. Right, let's now add the components. 1 nail and 10 boards. Okay, let's build. Okay, so there's our clay trough. If we right click on it, you'll see it's telling us there's no milk of lime, and that's all you can put in there. Okay, so that's our clay trough. Moving on. Now we need to make a bucket. We will need 1 nail and 1 fresh plank, hence why we needed 2 nails. So we'll come down here and we'll make 1 more board. There we go, we have our board. We will now click Craft. We will go to Bags, Sacks and Vessels, and we now click on Bucket. Okay, now I can't remember if we need the whittling bench. Let's try and craft. Yep, we don't. So there we go, we craft. Right, great. We now have a bucket. Now a bucket, excuse me, a bucket has many uses. Okay, we could store the tanning fluid in it because it will store up to 10 liquid. The pot only stores up to 5, but I'm not going to waste the bucket for that because we need it to make our milk of lime. Okay, first of all, how do you fill the bucket with water? Right, okay, left click the bucket, then on a shallow area donated by this colouring of it being shallow, right click. Whatever you do, do not left click as you will lose your bucket. So with it on your cursor, single right click. There, notice now it says 10 litres of water. So let's put that in our pocket. Okay, so you're saying, Gamester, you haven't got no lime. How are you going to make milk of lime? Well, in the next episode, even if there's no lime around you, or there's no clay around you, I'm going to show you how you can get both. For now, let's just open this container. Oh, look at that, loads of lime. Okay, now, we are to make the milk of lime. Left click the lime onto your cursor, right click on the bucket. There you go, notice now it says 10 litres of milk of lime. To put the lime into the trough, put the bucket on your cursor, right click over the trough. There we go. Now notice the trough will hold more than 10 litres. So let's show you how much it can hold. So what we will do, we will fill the bucket up again. Now you can see why I was near water. Water is just invaluable. Let's put a few of these in my pocket. Okay, let's now make another milk of lime. Let's right click that on the trough. Okay, if we right click, we've now got 20 litres. So let's fill the bucket up. Let's make some more. Let's now go put that in the trough. You fill your trough up fully, as much as it will hold. So now if we have a look, there's 30 litres. So we'll come down here, make some more. Go back to our trough. Right click. That's 40 litres. Now I believe that is the full capacity, but let's just show you. So let's make one more. Let's go back to the trough. Oh, let's have a look. Oh no, it's 50. Let's try again then. So let's grab 3 more. Let's just keep going and seeing if we can fill it up. Okay. Whoops, not the axe. Let's put that in. Yeah, it is still going. That's 60 litres. Let's see then. Maybe it goes to 100. Basically, like I say, fill it up. You'll see why. Okay, I will... Now I will show so we can see what the maximum amount is you can fit in there. Because I'm interested to know as well. Okay, let's right click again. Yeah, it is still filling nicely. Okay, let's just grab all 6. Let's see how deep this little rabbit hole goes. Okay, let's fill the bucket. Let's carry on filling the trough. Must be lagging out as I cannot put... Oh, there we go. Right. Okay, let's check. Yeah, we got 90. Let's keep going while we're on a roll. Yeah, I could have made the trough closer to the water, but I didn't want to get too I didn't want it too much clutter down here. It's not far to walk anyway, goodness sake. Right, okay. Now let's see if it's full. So we got 100 litres in there, 10 buckets basically. One bucket will give you 10. There we go, it's now full. So if you want the facts, a clay trough will fit 100 litres of milk of lime. Right, let's now put this, some of these back in here. And that, we won't need that. Okay, so we have our trough. Moving on. The trough is full of milk of lime. Now we must dig some dirt. So, let's see. Let's store this soaked bark, because we won't be needing that. Now we're going to need our shovel equipped, so let's put the shovel in. Let's put the tools in there because I'll hopefully remember where I've stored them. If not, you can remind me. Okay, let's find some dirt to dig. Now as luck would have it, there's a mound over here, so let's start digging a bit of that. So you'll want to do what I've done, put a shortcut to your most used things in your hotbar and left click. Okay, so we want to make sure we eat as we drain. Okay, there we are. That's the maximum dirt. So now we've got our dirt, we come over to the clay trough, and what you do, you just right click on the clay trough and it starts making clay, and the clay is now appearing in our pockets. So there we are, we've got 2 clay. Now basically, to fill your pocket up with clay, you just rinse and repeat digging. So go dig dirt, soil, you'll see it being carried above your head, bring it over to the clay trough and then right click. Now if we check, making 2 clay only used 1 litre of milk of lime. I've still got 99 litres left. You can see how much clay that we can make. We can make tons of clay. Tons of clay. So there we are. That's how you make an unlimited amount of clay. Right, I shall finish off with some tips. Number 1, you may pour more than 1 bucket of milk of lime into the trough, and in fact this is highly advisable. The clay trough holds a maximum of 10 buckets of milk of lime, which I've demonstrated there, and which is what you always want to do. 1 bucket of milk of lime can make 20 clay. Your character can carry up to 15 clumps of dirt once you have all of the digging to your max capacity, all your and your humours up. A kiln makes a great storage container for the clay. Okay, if your kiln is not fired up, if it's not heated, if you've not lit it, then you can use it as a great storage container for all your clay, because you might want to make large urns or flower pots or other items. So you may not want to turn them to bricks. Well, whilst it's off, use it as a storage container. And lastly, well, in fact, I think that'll do. That will do. So, wherever you are in the world, God bless you and keep every last one of you safe. Thank you for watching and have a fantastic day. I hope you enjoyed this episode on making clay. Goodbye.